Good evening, crafters, and welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm Georgia, and we are so happy that you're with us tonight. We are live. It's Thursday night at 7 p.m. Maudie, my sister, is over in the chat room just waiting to chat with you, answer any questions that you might have. We go on this crafting adventure together, and we have so much fun. We're very excited about tonight's card. It is a screen or a divider card. So look at this. Isn't that cute? And look at the cute little feet on it. Oh my goodness, this is just another way to use those punches. You know, our last video, we talked about a way to repurpose dies. Well, you could actually repurpose your punches and use them to create legs on divider cards. So cute, right? I'm going to take just a moment and say hey to Penny. Hey, Penny, Linda, Sandra, so happy that you're with us tonight. Now, if you are watching the rebroadcast, we want to invite you after the video to leave us a comment. Let us know which cards you liked. Let us know what we're doing right so we can continue to do that. Any suggestions or comments that you have are always appreciated. Well, like I said, we're very excited. We're going to make 2 cards tonight. And stay with us to the end because I have these 2 cards to show you that I showed you one, but I have another one to show you that has a little surprise in it. So let's go ahead and head down to the crafting table and let's get started. Now, I want to show you the stamp sets that we used. You don't have to use these. You can use whatever you have. But we are tonight going to use color and contour. This is one of our very favorite stamp sets, and we have some great tips and tricks for you to line up these flowers. We also used Garden Grandeur. Maudie used that for the card that I just showed you. And for our sentiment, we're going to use Celebrating You. Now, our stamp sets that we're going to use on the first one, Melon Mambo and Granny Apple Green. So the first thing you need to do is grab you a piece of paper that is 11 by 5.5. And we're simply going to make some score lines. Hey, Judy, Mary, so happy that you're with us tonight. Now, you want to score on the long side of the card. And we are going to score at 2 3/4. Now make sure that you have moved that cutting blade, this one right here, out of the way, right? You don't want to cut your card. Line it up really nicely up here at the top and go ahead and make that score line. Now we're going to move it over to 5.5. We're going to make another score line, and then we're simply going to open up our arm, extend that arm, and we're going to put a score line at 8 1/4. And that will give us our dividers that we need for this card. Now, let's go ahead and close this. And let's give it a good crease. So our first one, we're just going to fold down, fold up, and fold down. And we're just going to give it a good crease. Now, one of the things that we want to do on this card that we won't do on the other card is we want to round those edges just to give it a more feminine approach. We think those hard edges look a little more masculine, and our second card is going to be a masculine card, and it's really cool. But this first unique fun fold, we're going to round these edges. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to pick up this punch, and we're simply going to place this corner right here. Now, a tip for this is slide it in from the side and make sure that it's all the way in there. And then go ahead and punch. And look at that, it just rounded so perfectly, right? Now on this one, we're gonna fold it over because we want it rounded on both sides. So just go ahead and fold it over, slide it in again on the side, make sure it goes all the way up to the top, and punch it. And look at that beautiful Beautiful corner that it gave, right? So now we're simply going to fold this one again and slide it in right here on the edge. Make sure you slide it in all the way. Really get it in there tight and punch. So now we have a few of our corners rounded. We still need this one and this one. So we're going to do two at once. We're going to slide it in right there on the edge. Make sure it's all the way in. Punch it. And then we just have this one to do right here. So we're going to punch that one. Okay. And now we have those beautiful rounded edges. Now the next thing you need to do is we need to cut some DSP because we want our panels to be just like this. So we've cut our panels already, and our panels are 2.5 by 4 1/4. But we want the corners rounded as well, right? Because these look so nice rounded, so we're simply going to put it in and punch it. Put this side in and punch it. And you need to do that on all sides. And it just looks so much better. Look at that. Look how pretty that looks. Now, this is a great way. Hey, Pat, Darlene, so happy you're joining us. This is a great way to use your DSP. I know sometimes we don't like to use it, but this creates such a unique fun fold that I just know whoever's going to get it, your friends or family, they're going to love this card. So let's go ahead and slip this in. You want to make sure that it's all the way. And slip this one in and punch it. So we're lining them up as we do this. We're going to punch the corners. And you don't have to. You don't have to round these corners at all. If you don't have a punch that rounds corners and you don't want to, don't do it. Now, let's line this up for just a second and see what we have. We want to make sure that the same size border is on the sides and at the top. And that's important because that tells you how far we're going to come in with our punch down here. So you do want to really look at that, and you really only need to measure the first one. So let's just put this to the side. Let's get this lined up exactly like we're going to glue it. And then we're going to come down here and give us a little border. Just a little border. And that way we know exactly how far to go in with our punch. Now let's do that. So you can select any punch that you want, but we have selected the everyday label. So we're going to turn it over. And the way I line mine up is I get it right there. And then watch this. This score line right here, I make sure the distance between the end is the same as the distance over here. So you really want to center this panel right in the center where you need it. So that's what I'll be doing every time. So I'm going to go right up to this mark that I put with my pencil. I'm going to line that up, and then I'm going to punch. Now look at that. Look at that beautiful leg that was created, right? Now let's just make sure that that works. Now, if for some reason it doesn't, but it does, you can always cut off a little bit right here, right? You don't have to worry about it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this one as just an area, just as something that we can use to really get it exactly in the same place. So I just folded it over, and now we're simply going back in with our punch. We're going to line it up right where that one is and punch it. That way we get them right in exactly the same place. Now, we're just going to fold that over, use this as a guide, put it back in, and that way you get them punched and they're exactly where they need to be. I just want to make sure. And punch it. Now we have one more. We're just going to fold it over and line that up. Get it lined up right where we need it to be. Making sure that we're using this score line and the end to fall right in the center right here. And let's see if I can bring that a little closer and get that lined up about right. Okay, there. And now we have it perfectly lined up, and all we have to do is add our panels. So we're going to bring in our glue and, oh yes, the retired DSP. I see that Linda said it would be great for the DSP for an Asian screen look. Oh, that would be great. Okay, this glue, we're going to change our glue real quick. Bring in some Kalel and take the end off. And here we go. Just get a little bit of glue on that. Simply glue this down, making sure that we have the same amount of border on the sides and at the top. Now you can always double mat this. And what we like to do when we double mat is we simply take 1/4 of an inch off the sides and the top. But on this one, we will be double matting, and I'll give you that measurement because we want to have some flowers on one and then a place for them to sign and write their message, right? And what's so great about this is it absolutely will fit in your envelope. So you don't have to worry about that. And it will stand up on your desk. So it actually becomes a keepsake for the recipient, right? This is a great, unique, fun fold. We really like this one. Okay. So now we have cut 2 additional papers, and these papers are 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I want to remind you, you don't have to remember these measurements. We will have them posted over on our blog on creativemomentsbyg.com. And we invite you to go there. Now, I'm going to put this one right here. But what do I want to do? Well, I want to round those corners, right? Because we want to be consistent. So we're just going to bring in our punch, line it right up on that side, and punch it. Flip it over, do the same thing. And then we're going to do the same thing to this one. Now, I told you I had some great tips for you for working with that color contour. And I'll show you what I mean. We're going to stamp, and this is a 2-stamp process. And what I did is we figured out how to line these up, and I put a black dot where you line them up so that you don't make a mistake. So we're going to go ahead and bring in our Melon Mambo. And we are just going to use the same color, and you'll see it matches up perfectly. So we're just going to tap, tap, tap. Just hold it for good contact. There we have it. And now I know that my dot was right there. So I'm simply going to tap, tap, tap the inside. And I'm lining up that dot. Best that I can. Hold it. And look at that. Really, really did a good job. So I would absolutely put those black marks. If you have this stamp set, do that. Now let me show you another tip. I actually took the die and I put a black mark on it so that I would know where to line up my die. And it fits perfectly. So make sure that you do that. Now I have already cut these out so we don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to open up the Granny Green and let's just decide where we want to put these. I think I want one here and maybe one right there because I'm going to have a sentiment right here. And the reason I'm lining them up so that I can visually see that is the stamp for the leaf is just a stamp. We don't have a die to cut it out. So we have to know where is it that we want to put that stamp. So I know that I'm going to put it about right here and I'm going to put one up there. So let's just go ahead and move that. Just going to stamp one right there. And that way, see, I can line it up and I know exactly where to do it. Now I'm just going to put some stamps right here for my leaf. And just a little bit. And they might just peek out a little bit. And now I'm going to come back in with my message. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use Memento. So let me grab Memento for my message. And we're just going to stamp that right here. So let's see. We're going to tap, tap, tap. And I want to test this to make sure we have good ink on it. Good. Okay, tap, tap, tap. You could always use your stamp apparatus, right? We're just going to center this and hold it so we can transfer that ink, right? And there we have it. Now, we're simply going to lay this down on the first divider. And see how nicely those corners, they make such a difference. So let's go ahead and just get some glue on there and adhere that to the front panel. Now, I'm going to go ahead and lay this down, my flowers. Thank you, Carolyn. Let me just look here real quick. Appreciate Stella and everyone that's commenting and talking to Maudie. That is just great. Now we need one right here and about right there. Look how pretty that is. I love Melon Mambo and black and white together. I think it is so pretty. So let's just put a little dab of glue. Get that glued right there. Then I'm going to put another little bit right there. Line that up. And you can see all the possibilities with this. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It's starting to take shape. Now, we are going to leave this one blank so that they can write their sentiment. However, I think I'll go ahead and put like the pink flower down here and stamp one of the leaves over here just to kind of offset it just a little bit. So let's bring in that, tap, 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 and just bring in our leaf. And let's get that glued down. Now, something else you could do, if you know there's a lot that you want to say, then you could always put some panels on the back, right? You could absolutely do that. So let's go ahead and just lay that down, and I'm going to put it right there. Now, let's just get that, and look at how pretty. Oh, he didn't stick. Let's get him back again. Hold him. Hold that. There we go. And look at that. We have our panel, and look at that. It folds up so nicely. Fits perfectly in an envelope. You don't have to worry about that. So here is this one. And now let's move on to our next one. And it'll go even faster because we are using some really creative DSP. What do you think about this one? Don't you love those colors and the color and contour flowers? Really, those are some of our very favorite flowers. So I'm just going to set him up right there. And we're going to bring in this other one that we're going to work on. Let's see. Hey, Melissa. Now, look at this one. we are going to use Cajun Craze, and we have selected to use He's the Man DSP. And what is so cool about this is it has all these punched out labels. And that's what we're gonna use. We are gonna use punched out labels so it goes so fast, but we're also gonna do a little something different that has a hidden part to it that I think you're really gonna like. So we went ahead and we cut out our panels. So we have our panels and we are using opposite panels. So that's why I love this DSP too, is because, you know, both sides you can use. And so we like that. Now we need to go ahead and score our card. Remember, this is an 11 by 5.5. We are going to score at 2 3/4. We're scoring at 5.5. And you can see how fast you can make this card. Monty and I were thinking, oh my goodness, we think we may want to do our Christmas cards. We haven't started our Christmas cards yet, but we may want to make this our Christmas card. And then over score it at 8 1/4. So now we have our dividers, and all we have to do is crease that line. So we're going to go up and down and up. Simply give it a good crease. We have already cut our panels to the exact measurement, which is 2.5 by 4 1/4. And we are simply going to measure that so that we have the same distance around it. And because we have to punch it, right? So we're just going to go ahead and give us a little border right there. We're going to bring in our punch, and we're going to punch the first one. And then we will use that as a guide to punch the other ones. So we have it right there, and punch it. So now we're going to simply fold that over, bring it back into our punch, line it up with the guide, and punch. Okay. Now we're simply going to line this one up and punch it. Just very easy. Using this as a guide makes it so nice. And now we're going to punch this one. Make sure that we have it lined up. Okay. And slip it in your punch, using that as a guide. And making sure also that we use the edges, right? And there we have it. So now we're ready to simply put our panels on. And we certainly appreciate all the likes and shares. That really helps us grow our channel, and we just appreciate you guys so much. Now, here are our panels. We're going to start with the brown one. We're just going to lay it down, and pretty soon we're coming to that sneaky one I told you about. Just going to lay it flat, making sure that we have the same border around the top and the sides. We're going to come in with this one. This makes a great masculine card. Get a little bit of glue on there. Line this up. And I want to remind you that we will be giving a gratitude gift at the end. We just appreciate all the chats and the shares and the likes. And we will randomly select someone from those areas. So look at what we're going to do next. Now, you could just put, you know, a white piece of paper there, but what did we do? We made us a note card. So what we did is we took a 9-inch right here. Actually, it's 8.5 by 2 1/4. And we are simply going to add this to the back of our panel. And so let's do that. And now we have a secret place where if they want to put this on their desktop, they don't have to show what you wrote. So let's go ahead and just lay that down. We're putting this on the back of our little note card. Put a little bit of glue. And get that right down there. Lining it up. Okay. And look at that. There's your little card. Just opens right up. It's a hidden secret message note card, right? We're going to add a little bit of glue and wait till you see the labels that we just punched out from that DSP. We didn't even have to stamp anything for this card. It's so easy to create and it's so cute. Okay, I'm going to bring in my little tray. This is the tray that I like to use. And we simply punched out this. So we are going to use this on the first panel. And we are going to add it up on dimensionals. Just to give it a little bit of height on that center part. There we go. Oh, Pat, thank you. That's so nice of you to say that. Okay, so we're going to center that. Just get that centered, and it's about right there. Okay. And now I'm going to actually adhere this to the panel. I don't want to set everything up on dimensionals, right? So let's get this. And just get that, center it right there. Now, you know, we talk about using your punches in creative ways, repurposing them. This is a great way to repurpose your punches. It's not normal. It's used to create the legs of a, screen divider. So very creative. And if you missed our Tuesday video, you need to watch that because we also have some creative ways to use our dies. And we really had fun doing that. Okay, so now we need to add a little bit right here, right? So look what we've punched out. How cute is this? You're a classic. We're going to add this right to the front. We're just going to add it, lay it down with some glue. Get that laid down. Makes it so easy. And we're going to flip this up because we want to add something on the inside too. And we can add this down here. I think I'm going to put it here because I want to put that arrow right there. So maybe I'm just going to put it, let's see. Or I might put it here. Let me just think about it for a second. And, I don't think I'm going to use the arrow because the arrow just gets in the way. I punched it out just in case. But let's go ahead and add this right to the bottom. Then you have plenty of room to write. Okay. Let's see what this one looks like. Let me move this. Move all this stuff out of the way. So, we have, let's get this. We have this beautiful one, this pink one. And remember, be thinking about which one you might want if you're selected. I'm going to go ahead and stand it up. Now we have this masculine card. Look at that, stands up so nicely. You have that little area to write. Stands up, becomes a keepsake, right? And then we have this one. This is the one that I was telling you Maudie used that stamp set. Look at how beautiful that is. And we use that DSP. So it's kind of hard to see. So let's see if we can put them down a little bit. I don't know. They really won't stay. They like to flip open. And the final one is this one. We use that Rustic Harvest DSP. And look at that. Oh my goodness. Of course, I love this because I love fall. You're on my mind and in my heart. You are wonderful in every way. So let me see. Let me select someone. I'm going to go ahead and get those cards nice and big so you can see them. And let me see. Okay. Okay. We hope everyone loves this and decides to make it. We want to remind you, if you do make it, go ahead and leave us a picture of yours on Facebook. Yay, Darlene May. Let's all congratulate Darlene. You have been selected. Which one are you going to choose, Darlene? All you have to do is go over to our blog and fill out the contact form off of creativemomentsbyg.com. Give us your address and tell us the card that you want. Very different cards, and you get to select the one you want. We are so thrilled to send it to you in appreciation of you spending time with us tonight. Well, crafting friends, thank you so much for spending time with us. We hope you like this unique fun fold. This divider card is so easy to make, and yet it's really, really so pretty, right? It just stands up on their desk and really looks like a divider. I love this little part right here that gives you additional room to write. Well, we want you to go out and have a great weekend. We want to remind you that the next time we will be live is Thursday, September 1st at 7 p.m. And we want to give a shout out to Carol. She sent us the sweetest card. Look at this thank you card, and look at this fun fold. You open it up and then this opens up. How cute is that? Carol, thank you so much for thinking of us. We appreciate that. Crafting friends, we appreciate you. We love you so much. Go out, make it a fantastic weekend. And we will have a video that goes up on Tuesday. We hope you find some inspiration in that. Go out, make it a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.